Welcome to the Live Wide Open podcast. I'm your host, Randy B. Ramirez, also known as Wide Open Randy, and I'm here to lead you to become the best version of yourself. This show helps raise the bar for all the motorsport enthusiasts because holding it wide open is just what we do. Being a good person is who we are, and living our lives to the fullest is the lifestyle that we choose. Man, today we're going to be diving into a simple perspective shift type of focus because a simple perspective shift has the power to make or break you, right? But it's up to you to really battle through those challenges so that you can grow into a more resilient version of yourself, right? Whatever perspective you have right now on a situation that you're going through in your life, know that it's been put there because of your experiences, because of everything that's happened to you in your life for you getting to this moment, right? But, excuse me, but the thing is that when we change the way we look at things, the things that we look at change. That phrase right there is so deep and it's so small, but it's so deep and it truly has the power to change your life, right? And it has the power to change your life because you could be looking at the same exact scenario with a truly renewed mindset, and you will see opportunities that you didn't see there before. You will see opportunities that before you were looking at as hardships. You were looking at opportunities now that before you were looking at as things that are holding you back. All because you changed the way that you look at the things that you were looking, right? And I'm not gonna say it's an easy thing, especially when you're fucking flustered, when you're out of your groove, when you feel like you've had a shitty day. Really grounding yourself and being able to give yourself that perspective shift, but rather so that mindset shift so that you can get the perspective shift is what will determine your outcome on that situation, right? And so your mindset determines your focus, right? If you have a shitty mindset, you're going to have a shitty focus. If you're right now all caught up in your feelings, right? And you're saying, oh, today's fucking, everything's going bad. This is going bad. That's going bad. This scenario happened to me. And like all you're doing is pointing out the shitty situations that you had about that day. Then your mind is just going to focus on all the shitty situations. Your mind is just going to focus on having shitty moments. Your mind is going to fucking look for more shitty moments that I can point out to you so that it could prove to you how shitty of a day you truly are going, or you're having, or you're going to continue having, right? On the contrary, when you have a champion mindset, you have a championship focus, right? You're looking at the wins. You're looking at what you're grateful for about those moments. You're looking at, man, you know what? Maybe this situation hasn't played out the way I wanted to, but because of this and this and this evolved. This happened. This developed. Because of this, I have grown. Because of this scenario, now I'm able to look at things in a broader perspective. Because of this scenario, now I'm able to go after bigger opportunities, right? It's all about having that mindset shift. That mindset shift gives birth to the perspective shift that you're looking at the situation, right? Don't look back and have the regret of that you could have done more, right? That's a result of what happens from staying in the shitty mindset, right? It's a result of what happens from staying in the shitty perspective of understanding that things have gone the way they've gone, but you have the power to change them. And if you're not changing them, then that's also a fucking choice. Know that, right? And so, how do we look back so that we don't look back with regret? Well, we become a fucking more savage version of ourselves. And in every single man out there, I truly believe that there's a fucking true savage, a true fucking warrior that's waiting to be unleashed, right? The problem is that a lot of men out there, and I've fucking guilty of gone through this in my life, thankfully, and I thank God every day, and this is why I work so hard on bettering myself and on improving myself and why I put myself into uncomfortable situations. We grow, right? But there are times, and like many men out there right now, that they get stuck in this bitching and complaining mode. They get stuck in the playing the victims mode. They get stuck in the all life is happening. It's for me. I mean, it's to me. Everything is happening to me. Nothing ever goes my way, right? And all you're fucking doing is you're hiding the savage within you because you're letting this bitch ass personality take over that keeps complaining about how things aren't going their way, right? And what completely changes is by fucking tightening up, right? By saying, I'm fucking done with this shit. No more, bro. I'm not gonna be a victim anymore. I'm tired of letting these excuses get the best of me, right? You gotta fucking tighten up. You gotta lock in. You gotta fucking first understand that you've been a bitch up until this moment and you ain't willing to be a bitch no more, right? And so that's gonna take for you to tighten up. That's gonna take for you to show up despite not you wanting to fucking do it, right? That is actually what makes it so rewarding. The fact that you don't want to do this shit, but yet you still show up to fucking do the work. It's like, man, it's like working out. Like, I almost never want to show up to a workout. Almost never. I always have to drag myself. I always find some excuse. Oh, I got to do this. Oh, I got to do this. And then, excuse me, before I know it, sometimes I find so many excuses that I'm not working out towards the end of the day, right? And if I'm not careful, that starts to show up throughout other areas of my life, right? And so what I've noticed is that I gotta fucking tighten up and I gotta just show up, right? And then when I show up and I get that workout, and at the end, always, bro, 99% of the time, I'm like, yo, I am so fucking glad I did this shit. Yo, I'm so glad I pushed through this. Yo, I'm so glad that I showed up. Yo, I'm so glad that I'm fucking doing this. I'm so glad that I'm not where I used to be because now I'm in a better fucking position. Why? Because I chose to tighten up and I chose to fucking show up for myself, right? It takes that perspective shift. It takes having that mindset shift. It takes from you to shift your focus from, I don't want to embrace this sucky ass moment to let's fucking do this shit. We know we're going to grow from this. We know we're going to get better from this, right? We know that what doesn't make you breaks you, right? And this ain't gonna fucking break me, right? What doesn't break you makes you. Turn that shit around. Fucking shift the wording so they could be helping you in your favor, my king, right? Another thing that you can do when you're facing the tough situation or the tough moment of like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. I don't know if I even want to do this. Like, man, excuse me. And again, I'm getting through a sickness. I'm almost through this shit. But what if those challenges were God sent, right? And just in that same scenario about the sickness that I was just talking about, like, man, we started the new year and everyone's like, oh, it sucks to be sick. And yeah, it does kind of suck to be sick. But at the same time, like, man, I prayed and I asked for God to help me release all these toxins before I got sick. I prayed to God and I asked him to help me clear my mind. I prayed to God and to help him to ask me fucking cut down so I could be thin, shredded. I mean, for my fucking birthday coming up next month. What if all these challenges and getting sick, and by the way, I lost like 11 to 13 pounds of being sick. And what if all that was a challenge that God had sent my way to answer my prayer, right? To help me level up, to fucking release all these toxins, right? Nothing changed. I was still sick. I'm still getting better. The only thing that changed was up here and in my heart, that the focus changed, right? It wasn't like, oh man, this sucks that I'm sick now. I'm starting to hear all this. No, it's like, yo, I'm fucking sick. It is what it is. It was sent by God. It's here by challenge. And now I'm going to get better through it. And I'm going to fucking level up because of this, right? Literally peeling off the next layer that who you are in order to become who you need to be, right? And it's gonna take a lot of fucking layers, and that's why I paused there, because like I paused and I pondered on how many layers I have already removed from myself. And it's like, and then someone could say, oh, aren't you tired of removing all these layers? And it's like, no, it's liberating. Every time I remove a new layer, I fucking unleash new capabilities. Every time I peel off an old layer, I feel like I remove this weight off of my shoulders. Every time I peel off an old layer, I fucking make room for a new one to fucking sprout and to grow and to develop and to become more powerful. Like, constantly, always coming up with new layers, right? It's like a snake. It sheds its skin, right, to bring forth to its new layer of skin. Well, as we shed layers, as we get rid of things that don't serve us, we become better men. We become better persons. We become more capable and skilled to handle the situations that are coming your way. Right? So I'm going to leave you with a question here, right? And the question for today's episode of will it make you or will it break you is, what challenges have you faced recently that, even though it seems like they were sent to break you, are making you instead? Right? Think about that. What challenges have you faced recently in your life that, even though they seem like they were sent to break you, instead are making you? Right? And then the challenge to move forward with that is, how can you go even harder? Right? How can you get more committed? And more importantly, where can you pull more fuel from so that you can continue to unleash this savage fucking warrior that's inside of you, right? How are you going to do this today, right? What challenges have you been faced? And how are you going to go harder? How are you going to overcome them? How are you going to get more committed? How are you going to fucking lock in, right? How are you going to bring out the more savage versions of you? How are you going to do this? How? You need to have a fucking plan. You need to sit down and write some notes for yourself, right? You need to analyze, because if you're not willing to measure, the saying really goes is, you can't improve what you don't measure, right? And so if you're not willing to measure your performance, you're not willing to measure what's holding you back, you're not willing to measure what was sent to supposedly break you, but is there to fucking make you. How do you know? How are you going to prove to yourself that you will come out of this? How are you going to prove to yourself that you came out of this? How are you going to prove to yourself and extract the lessons so that you can become a better version of yourself because of these fucking scenarios? You got this shit. You just got to be willing to do the fucking work. And I'm gonna leave you with one quote here for this episode, right? And the quote really goes like this: "It's the choice that makes us or break us." It is the choice that makes us or breaks us. The choice is always yours in your career, in your life. So, what choice are you gonna make, right? So are the successes. Wait, I fucking totally screwed that quote up. Excuse me. Let me start all over with that quote, right? It is the choice that makes us or breaks us. The choice is always yours in your career and in life. So are the successes, so are the failures, so are the worries, so are the pains, and so are the pleasures too. Choose carefully, my friend, because it is you who will be affected. Choose carefully, my friend. The choice is yours. You got this shit. Let's level up. Let's become better. Let's put into work. Let's get to motherfucking work. Yo, I'm driving the checkered flag deep into the ground, and I'm calling all the motorsport enthusiasts who want to improve their situation. Let's break free from all the crap that's been holding us back, and let's become the badass motherfuckers that we're all meant to be. Breaking the stereotype is what we're here to do. This movement is called Live Your Life Wide Open, and helping others level up is the mission that God has tasked us with. By any chance you still haven't subscribed yet, man, go ahead and smash that button so you never miss another episode. And if you connected with today's message, man, do me a favor. Please share this on your story. And make sure you tag me at Wide Open Randy, because those are the actions that help more motorheads, more gearheads, more motorsport enthusiasts, people just like you and me to really hear about this podcast. And ultimately, that's how our community grows. I'll catch up with you on our next episode. But till then, live your life wide open, my friend. Peace.